Let me ask you something strange. Have you ever woken up at 3 a.m. for 3 nights in a row, for no reason at all, heart pounding like you ran a marathon in your dreams? Ever had things fall apart in your life, all at once, in such a perfect domino pattern that it felt orchestrated? You tell your friends it's just bad luck, Mercury in retrograde, stress, but deep down, you know something isn't right. You feel watched, drained, off. Now here's the kicker. According to a 2020 psychological study published in Frontiers in Psychology, over 40% of people report having experienced unexplained interference in their life they attribute to spiritual manipulation, not superstition, experience. We think we're rational beings, immune to invisible forces unless science co-signs them. But what if the science hasn't caught up yet? This video isn't about waving sage or pointing fingers at your weird neighbor with crystals. This is about something deeper. It's about when someone uses energy as a weapon, and how to know if you're the target. So, lean in. Silence the noise. Because if any of these signs sound too familiar, you might not be crazy, you might be cursed. Sign 1. The energy vacuum, when you feel like you're leaking light. Let's not tiptoe around it. The first sign someone might be doing witchcraft on you is this. You're exhausted, but it's not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. It's soul deep, bone dull, like someone's taken a siphon to your spirit and is slowly drinking it like a milkshake. Now picture this. You walk into a room and suddenly the air feels heavy, like invisible fog has rolled in, but only around you. Your phone dies when fully charged. You lose your keys again. You get into random arguments with people you love. You can't focus. You can't breathe the way you used to. This isn't burnout. This is an energetic parasite. And here's where it gets philosophical. In the Aaron Sorkin way, we live in a world obsessed with proof. Show me the data, show me the receipt. But some things don't show up in spreadsheets. Some things show up in gut feelings, in the tightness behind your eyes, in that weird buzzing you feel around certain people who always seem so polite, but your body wants to run the second they smile. In many witchcraft traditions, from the Caribbean to the Balkans, this is known as spiritual siphoning, the belief that someone can attach their negative energy to you, either consciously or through ritual, and leech your light to feed their own. But this isn't just about spells and candles. It's about intention. It's about someone waking up, thinking about you with bitterness, resentment, obsession, every single day. That energy has a weight, a direction, a target, and sometimes it's you. Ask yourself, have you been clumsier than usual? Do you feel sudden anxiety when you enter certain spaces? Have you had recurring dreams where someone is watching you, chasing you, or manipulating you? These are not always dreams. Sometimes they are warnings. Let's go deeper. There's a man. Let's call him Theo. He was a teacher, solid guy, had a routine. Life was stable. Then he got involved with a woman who was enchanting, charismatic, a little too intense. When they broke up, she said something strange. "You'll never get away from me." He laughed it off. A week later, his tires blew out. Then his dog got sick. Then he started forgetting words, mid-sentence. His sleep collapsed. He lost his job. Doctors said stress. But he kept seeing shadows in mirrors. The scent of her perfume in his apartment. He found a photo of himself on his doorstep, burnt around the edges, in a sealed envelope. This is not a horror movie. This is what he lived. Whether you believe in magic or not, here's the uncomfortable truth. People can send intention with precision, and when fueled by obsession or hatred, that intention becomes its own form of dark energy. So what do? You protect your space. You clean your energy the way you clean your hands. And above all, you stop ignoring the signs, because the longer you pretend nothing's wrong, the deeper the hook goes. And trust me, they want you distracted. Sign 2, the pattern that wasn't there yesterday, when reality starts glitching. Let's set the scene. You're brushing your teeth. Same mirror, same bathroom. But tonight, something's off. You stare into your own eyes and they don't feel like yours. You look away, your reflection doesn't. Now stop. That might sound like movie script horror, something you'd see in The Conjuring or Hereditary. But there are thousands of people across the globe reporting the exact same sensation. Reality suddenly feeling too thin, too quiet, too off. As if the software of their life is being tampered with. Let's unpack that. When someone's doing witchcraft on you, especially the kind that targets your perception of reality, the changes aren't big or loud. They're microscopic distortions, small fractures in your routine that don't make sense. Your clock freezes at the same time every day. You hear your name whispered but no one's around. A song you haven't heard in years plays 3 times in 1 week, in 3 different locations. Coincidence? Maybe, until the coincidences start talking to each other. Here's where this goes full Sorkin. Your mind, the most complex neural network in the known universe, is trained to detect patterns. That's how you survive. But when someone's intentionally messing with your energetic field, what you start to feel isn't paranoia. It's a quiet correction. Your system is pinging, something is trying to get in. Let's bring in a real-world example. Meet Lana, graphic designer, skeptical, allergic to anything remotely woo-woo, until her ex, a self-proclaimed occultist, began texting cryptic phrases like, "Watch the crows." She blocked him. A week later, her laptop wouldn't open the file she'd been working on for a client. It had turned completely black. The file name? You Can't Hide. She didn't name it that. Her microwave started sparking only when she reheated coffee. She began waking up at 2:22 a.m. every single night. Crows started landing on her windowsill, not flying, not flapping, just watching. She documented everything. No history of mental illness, no drug use, just a perfectly orchestrated distortion of her reality that felt deeply personal and deeply wrong. Still think it's coincidence? Witchcraft, especially what's known as mirror magic or chaos binding, isn't about some old woman in a forest with a bubbling cauldron. It's about intention amplified by symbolism. Objects become anchors, time becomes a doorway, your name becomes a password. When someone uses these tools to warp your sense of safety, the goal isn't to harm you physically. It's to make you question the floor beneath your feet. Because when you start questioning reality, you stop trusting yourself. And when you stop trusting yourself, they've won. Here's what most people get wrong. They wait for something big to happen. They expect the Exorcist-style horror. But witchcraft isn't always loud. It's the phone that rings once, the strange chill in one room of your house, the recurring number that follows you around like a ghost that forgot its purpose. And here's the scariest part. Most people dismiss these signs until they're too deep inside the web to crawl back out. So what do? You pay attention to the patterns. You document them. You create distance from anyone who gives you that gut-level unease, especially the ones who smile too much. You cleanse your space, not with superstition, but with sovereignty. Sage, salt, sound, whatever tool makes you feel like you own your energy again. Because the moment you reclaim belief in your own perception, you start breaking the spell. Sign 3, the sudden collapse, when everything good starts dying all at once. Let's talk about collapse, not the dramatic Hollywood kind, not the meteor hits the planet kind. I'm talking about a quiet, perfectly timed decay. The job interview you were a lock for suddenly falls through. Your car breaks down 2 days after you paid it off. Your best friend starts acting distant, cold, like they forgot who you are. Your bank account dips below zero, even though the numbers don't add up. You feel cursed, and then you feel crazy for thinking it. Here's the scary part. It's never just one thing, it's a stack. A series of blows that feel suspiciously targeted, as if the universe has turned on you with clinical precision. Let me hit you with a philosophical gut punch. What if someone is aiming intention at you every single day, and that intention is designed to make your life rot from the inside out? That's not fantasy. That's energy manipulation, weaponized. Let's bring in someone we'll call Marcus. Marcus was thriving, great girl, new promotion, friends who had his back. And then it began. First insomnia, then the nightmares. Same one every time. He's in a room, someone behind him whispering, "You're next." His girlfriend breaks up with him, says he's different now. His boss tells him his work is sloppy. His credit card gets hacked. His dog, healthy for years, suddenly develops seizures. Marcus starts talking to himself in the mirror. Not affirmations, accusations. It's not a breakdown, it's a systematic spiritual takedown. And here's the twisted thing. Witchcraft, real witchcraft, doesn't need your belief to work. It thrives on chaos, on you spiraling, because every time you say, "This can't be real," you're handing more power to the thing that's pulling the strings. Some of the oldest spiritual systems in Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia all have a term for this. Chain unraveling. It means the unraveling doesn't come from one thread being pulled. It comes from many threads pulled by invisible hands until you don't recognize the life you had 3 weeks ago. And here's the twist Sorkin would love. It's not about ruining your life. It's about isolating you so you're too weak to fight back. Sign 4. The personality shift, when you start acting like a stranger in your own skin. This is the sign that gets most people scared, because this one hits home. I'm not talking about being moody or off. I'm talking about waking up one day and realizing you don't recognize yourself anymore. You say things that don't sound like you. You're drawn to people who are toxic, and you like it. You lash out at those who love you, even when they're trying to help. You start dressing differently, speaking differently. You feel invaded. Now, here's where it gets dark. In multiple witchcraft belief systems, there's a practice known as personality inversion. This isn't about possession in the Hollywood sense. No spinning heads or pea soup. This is subtle, it's emotional, it's behavioral hacking. The idea is this: a skilled practitioner doesn't need to take over your body. They just need to shift your energy, tilt your moral compass, make you susceptible to influence. You become easy to steer, easier to ruin, because now you're driving the knife into your own life with your own hand. Let me introduce Zara. Zara was always calm, empathetic, thoughtful. Then she started dating a man who practiced a form of ritual magic. He was secretive, intense, had a fixation with blood moons and personal relics. Zara laughed it off. Until she didn't, she started changing rapidly. She cut off her family, started wearing only black. She'd mutter things to herself and not remember it. Her plants died. Her cat hid from her. Her journal entries, which she'd written for years, became darker, obsessive, fragmented. She found a page where she'd written, "He's inside me now." She doesn't remember writing it. Witchcraft that targets your identity is not designed to control your thoughts. It's designed to rewrite your emotional code. You stop liking the things that made you, you. You start craving isolation, destruction, even danger. Here's the part no one tells you. You think it's depression. You think it's just a rough phase. But if you dig, if you listen, you'll hear a voice that's not yours, whispering things you never believed before. And that's when you know someone has a hold on your spirit. Sign 5. The obsession loop. When they pull you back every time you try to leave. Here's the final sign, and it's the most dangerous one, because it's disguised as love. Let's say you leave someone toxic, block their number, change your route to work, move on. Then, out of nowhere, you miss them, even though they hurt you. You dream about them, even though you deleted every photo. You see their name everywhere. Songs, books, comments. You think about them non-stop. You go back, not because it's right, not because it's safe, but because it feels unavoidable. Welcome to the obsession loop, and yes, it can be created through witchcraft. In hoodoo, brujeria, and even some corners of folk Catholicism, there are rituals known as binding spells. They don't just make someone think of you, they tether your energy to theirs. Imagine your soul is a house. They slip a key under your door. Now they can come and go even after you've moved on. You'll feel random panic when you don't text them. Guilt out of nowhere, sudden desire to call them. Even if it's 2 a.m., it's not love. It's programming. This is when witchcraft gets intimate. It doesn't want your body. It wants your attention, your will. And here's the kicker. The moment you try to break away, it tightens. You'll see signs that seem to pull you back in. A dream where they're crying. A message out of nowhere. A sudden illness that makes you wonder, should I check in? Don't, because obsession isn't affection. It's control. And the only way to break the loop is to cut the cord. Cold, final, absolute. Because anything less is an invitation, and invitations in the world of witchcraft are open doors. So here we are, 5 signs, 5 whispers in the dark. And maybe, just maybe, something deep in you clicked, something ancient, something your logic tried to bury, but your bones remembered. Because here's the truth, no one puts on incense packaging or in TikTok reels about manifesting your ex back. Witchcraft is not fantasy. It's not glitter in a mason jar or moon water in a wine glass. It's not girl boss spirituality or cute rituals for likes. Witchcraft is ancient psychology. It's will turned into weapon. It's the focused attention of someone who wants to bend your story without your permission. And whether you believe in candles, chakras, or nothing at all, if someone's aiming their narrative at your soul, you better believe you're already playing the game. Let me leave you with this. There's a reason spiritual attacks always start with confusion. Not a hex, not a scream. Confusion. Because the second you question what's real, they don't have to steal your power. You hand it to them. So what now? You reclaim what's yours. You stop gaslighting your own intuition. You stop apologizing for seeing the signs, because the moment you see them, you've already broken half their spell. You cleanse, you pray, you purge, not because you're scared, but because you're awake. And maybe you don't need holy water or sage or a full moon. Maybe all you need is this moment right here, where you looked fear in the eye and whispered back, "You can't have me." That's the beginning. That's the counterspell, the most powerful magic in the world. It's not found in potions or pentagrams. It's found in clarity, conviction, and the decision to never let anyone else narrate your story for you again. Stay sharp. Stay sovereign. You're not cursed. You're just finally seeing who's been trying to write your ending.